It's Tracy time. It's time for another moment with me, Tracy T. OMG. Okay. All right. Hey, y'all. Hey, it's Tracy time. Time for another moment with me, Tracy T. It's a marvelous Monday. I hope that you are doing amazingly well today, that you are being everyday amazing because of the wonderful things he does. Okay, seriously, y'all see I got all my blue. We had a blue gift over the weekend. Hello, we had a blue gift over the weekend. Okay, and because of our blue gift, let me just start by saying thank you, Jesus. Now, how are y'all doing? What's going on today? What is in the land? I'm representing blue. I'm so blue. How are you? How you are? What's going on? What you doing today? It's Monday. No, can you believe it's November? First of all, I don't have three things in 30 minutes. I have five things in 30 minutes. So you guys have to come on in here and let's talk about it because I'm telling you that it is absolutely amazing. We still have some things that we need to do. We still have some work. Hey, VJ, we still have some work that we need to do, but we are having a magnificent. Can you feel a brand new day? Because does it feel like my pastor said, like your shoulders went down a little bit, like you slept a little better Saturday night than you had for 3.5 years, that you breathe a little bit easier, that you have a little bit more, energy and goodwill. I mean, I just feel better. But now I can tell y'all one thing. I had never had any doubt. I never doubted that we were going to be in this place. I didn't know how we would get here. I didn't know what steps would be necessary for us to take. If it would be Pennsylvania, if it would be Georgia, if it would be Georgia and Arizona, if it would be Arizona and Nevada. I didn't know that. However, I can tell you with absolute certainty that I did know that we would be in this place. So let's just do a victory dance. I almost played music, but I didn't want to get copyrighted and have the audio be muted. So I'm just gonna sing one little verse of it, and then I'll sing another little verse of another song that I love that I've been playing all weekend. Celebrate good times. Come on, let's celebrate. Woo! There's a party going on right here. A celebration to last for years. Oh, goodness. And my other song that I was singing and playing all weekend was Ain't No Stopping Us Now. We're on the move. Hey, we really, really got the groove. Okay, so let me see. I've had all kinds, sing a song. We are one. I've had a musical weekend, just an absolute celebration. I am so delighted. One of the first things I did, Sweetie and I went to Vernita. Thank you, because you were part of the history. V called us. So we were out doing some ministry, collecting bags for the sleeping bags to be created for our homeless citizens and our homeless community members. And so we were not home when the word came out that Biden and Harris had won. And so, Vernita, V, thank you for calling me. I am so grateful to you. You are forever part of the history of our Biden-Harris journey. All right, so what do y'all think? Tell me how you feel about it. Let's have a moment to just celebrate that if there was ever room for doubt, and I feel so validated and affirmed in pushing people that had never voted to vote before, and pushing people who hadn't checked their registration status to do so, because every single vote counted. Was this not absolute confirmation that every single vote counted? Every single vote. And to the point where Georgia's doing a recount now, and they want to make sure that they are accurate. I appreciate them making sure that there is accuracy. But now I want y'all to give me one little celebration. Like if you could give how you feel now in one word, what would it be? Post that and let me know. What would your one word be if you had whew, what would the one word be? Because mine is relief, right? You were scared at first, V. You know what? I'm gonna tell you something. I don't remember who it was that I talked to, because y'all know I talk to anybody. Somebody that we know and love told me I could talk to a rock. But hey, it's a gift. So I don't remember who it was I was talking to, but I want you to know when I had the conversation, they said oh no, I'm really worried. I'm worried about it. And I said, no, 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 no. And I think I even told y'all this. I was like, nope, you get in the lane. We can't make a vinaigrette out of faith and worry. There's no such thing. And so I just would not allow. One of the things we did last Monday when we went into fasting and praying, I've said that I was going to fast from fear. And I stuck to that, and I had absolute confidence. I hope that you guys felt my confidence. I hope that when you had wavering doubts or you were uncertain or unsure, that you could tap into my confidence and certainty in it, because I just knew. It was divinely ordered, and I'm grateful, but I just knew. I just knew the country was, the overwhelming majority of people in this country were tired. Now, I will say this. If you could give one word to describe elated, jubilant, overjoyed, gleeful, grateful, happy, it's surreal. I mean, because we're not just getting this victory, we're getting this victory plus, right? This is exceedingly and abundantly more than we could have asked for, because not only do we have deliverance from the occupant, the F-tard, the big nasty grabber, the Cheeto in chief. We have deliverance from that foolishness. We also have the most amazing, fantastic, supercalifragilisticexpialidociously blessed woman, and we need to pray for her, future, our woman of color, Madam Vice President elect Kamala Harris. Come on. Okay, if you are not excited about that, I need to get you. Go check your pulse. Go check your pulse. Go put a mirror up to your face, because I'm telling you, the absolute history that makes. That not only is she the first woman, not only is she the first black woman, not only is she the first woman of color, she checks all of those boxes. Hello, somebody. Every one of those boxes is covered. And there's no question they can't do a birther and ask if she was born here. She has been very candid about her lineage, and that she has black and Indian roots. I am proud for her that she is taking a stance on that. Historical is a very good word, VJ. It is historical. It is absolutely historical. We made history. And why did we make history? Because we absolutely refused to sit on our laurels and take what was given. I said it. I don't know how many times I'll say it again. This is our country. This is our country. We are in a position where we can vote for people, which is one of the reasons why I am doubling down on making sure, and I think I asked you guys this last week, we've got to be ready, because what happened in the country should also have happened in the Senate. And what that tells me, because it didn't, is that we have to continue to spread awareness and then also educate voters on the importance and significance of Senate. What are your thoughts on that? Because we know, okay, so now let me read what V said. On it, hey, Cammy, well, on Inauguration Day, I'm wearing pink and green and pearls. I'm just letting all y'all AKAs know in advance. Okay, so don't y'all come for VJ on Inauguration Day, because she is going to be aligned in color and spirit with the Madam President-elect. Not at all to be offensive to the sorority, because she and I are members of the Alpha nothing sorority. We are Me Five Me's, okay, incorporated. I laughed and said we Me Five Me unincorporated, but I'm proud. And so, as a member of the Divine Nine, and some people have heard that and they're not really sure what does that mean. That is the National Panhellenic Greek organization that is acknowledging the black fraternities and sororities. And Alpha Kappa Alpha is a sorority that Madam Vice President-elect Kamala Harris is a member of that sorority. She pledged, I believe, in joining the sorority when she was at Howard University. So historically black college and university. So you'll hear over and over through the course of this, especially in this time frame right now where we're so excited, you'll see that the sororities colors are pink and green and white, and or pink and green and cream. I'm not sure. One of the AKAs, my beloved AKAs, you guys have to correct me on that. Pearls is part of what they identify is associated with their sorority. So people, many women on the election day wore pearls in honor of her. She wore white on the night of the acceptance speech as an acknowledgement to women's suffrage, as we know that this is the 100th-year anniversary for women's suffrage, for voting right for women. So there's a lot of symbolism that will happen throughout the course of this, from now, for these, what, 69 days, I think, 69 days up leading to January 20th, 2021. Cammie, her husband will be a Jewish spouse of the vice president. I know, also historic. I am so happy for the level of diversity that we are representing in the White House now. It's wonderful. Joe Biden is a senior citizen. His wife is a doctor and educator. Kamala Harris is biracial and acknowledging both of her cultures, and that she's proud. She's a Black woman. She's from an HBCU. She's connected to a sorority. She has a husband who is not in the same racial category as her, who is Jewish. He's a first gentleman. Are we clear on what he's going to be called? Y'all tell me about that, because it's the first time. And so I am delighted. I was also as eager and happy to see on Saturday evening, when they were all on the stage together. I said to Sweetie, it's beautiful that I can't tell you who belongs to who. I mean, the families were just intertwined, and I loved that there was no way to discern, okay, these are Kamala Harris's family, these are Joe Biden's family. I just love that. I think that's beautiful, and that's where we're going. And I think that's the part of the issue with the some of our fellow Americans have issue with that, and want to think in terms of old term, antiquated mindsets and rhetoric that, white people built America, and that's how it should stay, and that's the way it was supposed to be. And we know that's just not the truth or the case. And so, what are your thoughts on what you think will happen with this foolishness that the occupant is doing now? What do y'all think will happen? Because what I understand, we saw so much. I actually, for the first time, y'all, in the history of the occupant being in the White House on Black Lives Matter Avenue, Boulevard, what is Black Plaza, 1600. For the first time, I was going to that nuts Twitter account just to see what he was saying, right? Just to see what he was saying. I stayed up last night and watched on Showtime, I believe. There's a program called The Circus, and they have those journalists that reported, so you can see what we experienced kind of from it's not the exact velvet rope, because you don't get full behind the scenes access, but you get to have some access behind the scenes. If you haven't had an opportunity to watch that, it was really interesting, because from the journalist perspective, what they report on the news has to be kind of bipartisan and neutral. But I'm telling y'all, those folks, it was interesting. And so, what do you think is going to happen from here till we get to Inauguration Day? Because what we know, what should have happened, is that Trump should have conceded, should have called Biden and, said congratulations, and here's the gracious thing to be an upstanding, high road kind of person. We know Cheeto, Big Nasty Grabber, the occupant F-Tart, is not that person. He's not going to do that. We know that. He's proven that. That's not slander, because it's the truth. And he said that he's not conceding. He and his sons particularly have come out in the public and have really created this absolute chaos and division, in my opinion. What do you guys think about it? And then let's talk real quick about the fact that Biden was historical also in getting the most amount of votes in the history of the United States. But then here's the concern, y'all. On the other side of the fence, right behind them. So we won, and I'm grateful. Y'all see, because I got my blue on, I'm on purpose. It's intentional. The bigger concern for me, though, is that instead of us having a nation that is beginning to heal, we literally have a nation that the leader who will soon no longer lead this country is fostering and fanning the flame of evil, hate, and divisiveness. What are your thoughts on that? I need to hear from y'all, because I want to understand what is going on. Okay, hey Derek, let's see. Thank you, Derek. I'm trying to make sure I represent. I wanted as much blue in the frame as I could get, honey. I had to tuck it all in and get it in there so I could do. This is my subtle nod to to my African culture. Hello, I wanted to make sure that I was representing all of the blue. Thank you very much, Derek. Okay, Jimmy, you said, I want to know how Biden is going to handle the ridiculous, disproportionate amount of violent crimes with firearms associated with gang violence in the neighborhoods where children are getting killed in the crossfire, and shootings have gone up 200% last year here in New York City, and he won't get into Chicago because that ain't my city. Okay, Jimmy, I hope I read that as quickly and as effectively and as passionately as you wrote it and thought it. So, good question. What are your thoughts? What do you want to see happen? That's what I want to know. Jimmy, what would you like to see happen? We know that Biden has already assembled an administration for the COVID-19 and has done it. He actually did a briefing this morning on that and has ideas and plans to help implement, seeing the diminished numbers of cases that we have. You guys, last week, that was just catastrophic. The number of cases we had was hard to swallow. Some 100,000 cases in a day. That's scary. So Jimmy, I love your question. I think that you and I are the answer to the question. So what do you propose? What do you propose in the last 2 years when he wasn't president, but we had another person who was creating divisiveness and division in the country? We had a lot of mass shootings. We had fewer mass shootings because of COVID this year. But tell me, what are your thoughts on that? I'd love to hear. And then I'm interested in knowing, what do you think we can do as citizens, because we are connected? What can we do as citizens to really bridge the gap that is open right now? We have a huge gap, and we've got to find a way. I mean, I have absolute love in my heart for people, and I want us to be a country that is not in this place where we were literally, I felt, on the verge of a civil war. I don't want us to be in that. I want what happens in my lifetime and in my nieces and nephews' lifetimes to come to be a place where we can be proud and that we can grow and know that we're safe, right? I mean, we don't want that. So Jimmy, I open and welcome your feedback and comments, and I am delighted that you're here. So thanks for joining me today. So now here's a question I have for you too. How long do you think it's going to take for the cases that have been brought to the courts about the systemic voter fraud? How long do you think it will take? Because based on what I saw this morning, there are several cases in each state that have been filed, and they due diligence. You know, you can't just fan off a case because you don't think it has any merit or that it's baseless, but you need to process it. So how long do you guys think it'll take? Because I'm interested. It's their job to tease as. Come back, Jimmy. I don't know what TZZ as is. Help me. I don't know. What do you tell me what you think should happen though, in terms of, are you suggesting gun reform? Are you suggesting neighborhood policing? Are you one that believes in defunding the police? I'm interested in knowing your thoughts. Because you took time and what you thought that through and you shared it. So I'd love to know your thoughts further about, okay, we've identified what the issue is, but now what do you offer as a solution? Because it's a twofold process, right? We can identify, which is great. We also want to be part of what we offer as a solution. To take the initiative. It's their job to take the initiative. Okay, well, what initiative do you want to have taken, Jimmy? That's what I'm asking you, because I really am interested in hearing your thoughts on it. What initiative do you want, and who is the there? Is the there our local police officers, law enforcement? Is the there our Senate and Congress? Is the there our governors? Is the there our president? Who is the there? I'd like to identify who the they and there are. Let me also acknowledge the fact that we have gotten word this morning that Pfizer, one of the leading pharmaceutical companies in the country, announced this morning that they have, because of I mentioned that Biden had his COVID task, his advisory council formed, that on the same day that they announced earlier before the briefing that Pfizer has announced that there is a 90% efficacy of the the vaccine for COVID or coronavirus. So if you were in a position and you had it, little Nat, would you take the vaccine? Would you be one of the first? Because they have 40,000 people so far that have tested it. Would you take the vaccine? Would you be one of the people who took the vaccine? I am interested in knowing that. I know a number of people who have had the vaccine, or I'm sorry, who had the virus, who who had coronavirus, and I'm interested in knowing if for people who have had it or people who know they've had it, we've all been just um, overwhelmed. You all know I lost my first cousin, and he died from coronavirus. He was immediately taken to ICU and put on a vent, and then didn't recover. And his birthday would have been last month, and so he would have been 63, and so that's a young age to die from something that could have been prevented potentially. So if this vaccine from Pfizer works, what are your thoughts on how does it? They're going to ramp up production for it so that it may be made available mid to late 2021. Are you interested in being a person that would take it to circumvent getting it, much in the way the flu shot works? Would you take it? Okay, let's see. Um, Jimmy said again, it's their job. I don't know who there is. I don't pay taxes to come up with solutions for their job. Okay, all right. So, V, you said, hell no, you wouldn't take the vaccine? Okay, now tell me what's keeping you from saying that you would take the vaccine. If you had proof, that there was a likelihood or chance, are you saying no because you think that, like so many other drugs that have come out that seem like they're going to be effective and seem like they're going to work, and then years after the fact, what is the company Sokolov law is saying, if you have taken XYZ, contact us now? Is that what you think? Because I'm interested in knowing why you were so quick to say, hell no, I'm not taking the vaccine. Or you just want to make sure that there are others that are available, that other companies come out. Because there are several other pharmaceutical companies that are working on the vaccine. So I'm interested in knowing that. Who else? Who else says it? Cammy, would you take it? Derek, would you take it? I'm interested. Jimmy, would you take the vaccine if they offered it to you? And we don't know if it's going to be a free vaccine, much in the way that the flu vaccine is now. We're not sure. It's still too soon. Hey, Erica Dean, how you doing? You won't be getting the vaccine either? So, you guys that are saying no, you wouldn't get the vaccine, tell me what's keeping you from getting the vaccine. If they had the vaccine, whoa. You guys are like, nope, no, not getting it. Okay, so tell me what's making you say so quickly and definitively that you would not get the vaccine. I want to know why. You guys are crystal clear on not getting the vaccine. Okay, and for those of you that said you wouldn't get the vaccine, and for the rest of you who haven't commented yet, do you get a flu shot? I mean, because, so maybe one of the reasons, and this is, I'm not putting words in your mouth, I'm just trying to understand better what you're saying, is if you have the opportunity to get the flu shot, we know that the flu shot is actually the flu, right? And so that it builds up your immune system so that you can fight against getting it. So are you thinking that you don't want to take the coronavirus vaccine because it would be the coronavirus, and if your body doesn't recover from it? Or tell me what you're thinking. Okay, Jimmy, you're not thinking about it. You're not concerned with it. No, you don't take a flu shot either, V. Okay, so you don't take a flu shot. What about you, Erica? So I think it's interesting. I think it's going to be interesting to see. And I wonder with the 40,000 patients, because there is no true textbook that happens with coronavirus so far as we know in terms of the symptoms, because we know that there are so many people that are walking around that are asymptomatic, and we know that there are people that have different symptoms, that they either lose their taste and other things, or they have flu-like symptoms, or they have nothing at all, or some parts of all of the above. Is how, at what stages the vaccine was given to those patients that were in that 40,000 trial. And then of course you all know that the way that those trials work is that there's a control group that they have with that. So we have to make sure that we I'd love to know. I'm sure that this was the first announcement, so let's keep our fingers on the pulse of that and stay focused on it. Okay, so Derek, what you say? I need some more testing on the vaccine and results before I have it injected inside my body. I would not be Miss Guinea Pig, Miss Evers boys. Right. Okay. So if for those of you that don't know who Miss Evers boys, that's Tuskegee. There's some history here in this country with vaccines, or testing, I guess is what I should say, to be safe, of we'll say solutions, to be fair, Derek. I I understand that. I understand that. I get that. I get that. that you don't want to be a guinea pig, that you don't want to be someone who is walking around potentially injected with something that will cause an affliction of something later on. Is that safe to say? I get that. I totally get that. And so I am interested in knowing how much further along Pfizer will come. And I'm interested in knowing too which other pharmaceutical companies, because y'all know there are tons of other pharmaceutical companies that are coming along. Hey, Kim. You agree with Derek? Yeah, that are coming along with these. They're all feverishly working. And so now let's do a quick recap, because I want to also acknowledge two things before we go. We've gotten a lot in. Is number one, January 5th, 2021, in the state of Georgia, because we talked about the election results and count. And we know, if you've been paying attention, because I talked about earlier how important the Senate is, we know that there are two, not one, but two runoffs in the state of Georgia. For anyone listening to me within the sound of my voice that is connected to somebody, knows somebody, has a loved one, a friend, a college schoolmate, a high school friend, an elementary school student, a music teacher, a gym teacher, if you know anybody from any of your social media accounts that is a resident of Georgia, please listen clearly to me. Get them engaged. We've got to have absolute full engagement for that runoff from those Georgians. We need to have definitive results in Georgia. And so I encourage you all to just, I posted on my page, gasenate.gov, or maybe .com. I'll check that because I want to make sure what I'm telling you is right. But I did post it on my page. It's I think it's gasenate.gov. But I will confirm that Stacey Abrams was interviewed on one of the media outlets. I'm sure it was CNN for me, because that's my trusted source, and said, we've got to make sure that we do our part. So I said, she said it, let's do it. Because we know 800,000 registrants later, Stacey Abrams is a force to be reckoned with. Hello, somebody. So the other thing I want to talk about is, what do you think Kamala Harris's platform is going to be, right? Because we know that she's kind of, the vice president doesn't really have a necessary, okay, to support the president, we know that. But what do you think is going to be the other, because she's too powerful a voice. And then who do you think is going to be on the in the administration? Let's see, Cammy, what'd you say? Right. Okay, thank you, Derek, for affirming. And Andrew Yang is moving to Georgia to help with the runoffs. Is that right? Cammy, is that right? I'm waiting for you. Is that right? That's great. Oh my gosh, that's huge. Let me tell you, Andrew Yang and Pete Buttigieg are just phenomenal young, fresh talent for this. They are budding, right? And so that leads me perfectly to the last thing I wanted to say with regard to the election is, what do you think is going the administration is going to look like? Who do you think from all of the people, because we had a host of campaign candidates, who do you think will be eligible? No, not eligible. They're all eligible. Who do you think will be appointed, is the word, to the administration for Biden and Harris? Wow, Cammie, that's great news. That's great news. I'm glad to hear that. Thank you. So now, who do y'all think? Are you thinking Elizabeth Warren for education? Are you thinking, who are you thinking Secretary of State? Do you think Gorbachev would be Secretary of State? Who do y'all think? I'm just interested in knowing. Okay, thank you, Cammie, for posting that. That's good. I'll read that when we finish. I didn't know that. I'm thrilled to hear that. And so tell me who you think for the administration, because we got a lot of, there are going to be a lot of appointments. There's going to be a whole new regime. Praise you, Jesus. And so we have some people that we know, right? That's the beauty of it. There's some faces and people and places, and they're aces that would be phenomenal in this administration. So I'm excited to sit back and watch that. I think that let's claim it, because I told y'all I believe in the power of manifestation. So let's claim healing for our nation. Let's claim that the bridge will be connected instead of divided, that we'll be able to bridge that gap. Let's claim that the lack of acknowledgement of reality will dissipate for the sitting president, and that we will have a peaceful transfer of power. Let's have Susan Wright for Secretary of State is good. That's good, Cammie. Let's have manifested, and let's speak into existence that we will have a country that the people who acknowledge that we're not on the same page will still find that we're in the same book anyway. Okay. And so I'm manifesting that. I'm claiming that positivity for our land. We need it. We've got to have it. There's so many people who want it, and we want to just put a cover on that fire, because we know that if we don't give it any oxygen, it will burn out. Right? It will burn out. And so, okay, Cammie, you are killing it so far. I like the AG appointment too. Are you on the administration team? Are you on the task force? Because you need to be. And speaking of on the task force, can we say thank you, Dr. Fauci? Again, he went with science. I'm looking forward to Dr. Fauci being a part of the advisory board. If you haven't seen it, is pretty diverse, and so I'm grateful for that. The last thing that I will say, because it's a little bit after 12, I try to do all my stuff in 30 minutes unless we have a guest or a really hot topic, is November is my New Direction November. I promised everybody to get ready. I told you I was going to see this election through. We're going to keep our finger on the pulse of what's happening with the runoff in Georgia, the count in Georgia, the administration, absolutely the inauguration. I'm hoping that I will be able to participate. My church members and our ministry partners are talking about doing something fun that may be virtual for the inauguration, so that we can have a watch party and celebrate together. And okay, let's see. You hope we can expand the Supreme Court, and Biden immediately appoint both Obamas and okay, Cammie, we may need to talk about that on Wednesday. Make a note, put a pin in that, because I want to talk about what happens with the Supreme Court once we get past the inauguration. I'm gonna make myself a note. We're gonna talk about that Wednesday. What happens if on Wednesday? So my New Direction November is that I will continue to do my live and lunches. I am absolutely delighted to announce to you that I am going to have my focus that was is singularly focused and is tunnel vision on the election and getting us and doing my little bitty part, is going to shift to focusing on being another source of help and another resource for young adults to prepare for their career acceleration. And what that means simply is that I have 20 plus years of knowledge at one company alone, let alone all the wealth of experience that I have for all of the other places where I have worked. I have served as a mentor and a coach. You all know I'm a certified life coach. And I want to share that to help our young adults prepare themselves for the workforce, and not just to get the interview, but to nail that interview and then get the job and do well. So pray for me as I move out of the transition of just talking to you every day about current events and focus on that. I will still be here, but I am going to ask for you to help me to bring young adults to me, so that I can make the connection to them, so that we can get them educated in a way, not with academics, but in a way that gives them an equal playing field, and if not, give them some tools in their tool belt to help them prepare for their career and acceleration. And let me be clear by saying career. Career for me means any place that you want to work that pays for your talents and your skills. Okay, this is not limited to people going to college. This is not limited to people who have already been to college. This is literally a young adult from the age of even 16 up to 30 that is in a position where they've either applied for a job, they need a job, they're not really sure how to do their interviews, they need support with their resumes, they're not sure what kind of questions to respond to or what questions to ask when someone says, tell me about yourself, or information to help them on their way. Career acceleration is what I'm going to focus on for young adults. So if you would please share that information. This is my New Direction in November, and we're going to just continue to succeed and help people behind us. I'm going to lift as I climb, right? And so I believe in that, and I am hoping to be a contributor of that. I want to really have shored up young adults be ready for the world and the adulting that they have to do going forward. So that is it, y'all. That's all. And so Wednesday, Cammie, we are going to talk about that. But now what I need for y'all to do now is to like my page, share this with people, know that on every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday that I go live here with and we talk. I upload that to YouTube so that people can easily see the videos that we've had and how we talked about things and the guest visits and having information about the Black businesses and locally owned businesses here in Memphis and Shelby County. And I am delighted to continue to do that. I'm so grateful to have this platform and so grateful for you. So know that you matter to me. I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. I hope that this Monday is absolutely amazingly magnificent. Be everyday amazing. I look forward to talking to you Wednesday. We're going to talk about the Supreme Court and the State of the Union, period, right? And I just want to say, hugs. We did it. We did it. We did it. Yay. All right, that's it. That's all, y'all. I love you. I hope you make every day amazing. Please do, because you know you got to live like it's a gift, because it truly is. I'll see you back here on Wednesday. Take care, y'all.